Hello everyone! So today I'm going to do a first impressions of the NYX Total Control Foundation as well as the NYX HD Studio Photogenic Concealer. I needed a new foundation, and every time I go to buy a new foundation I try to buy something new so I can report back to you guys what I like, and just so that maybe if you're looking for something new, if you're not really liking your foundation, I can tell you about this one and maybe you can try it and maybe it'll work for you. Yeah, I just went shopping we just had a NYX store open up in our area and I'm like dying of excitement. Like, I'm so happy. I'm not wearing anything right now. I already took my foundation off. So on the back of the box, it gives you kind of a starting point so you can see there's light, medium, and full coverage. So the light starts with 2 or more drops, medium starts with about 3 or more drops, and then full starts with about 4 or more drops. I typically like to go for a full coverage, but I'm going to start with the medium coverage. So I'm going to start with about 3 drops and kind of go from there and see how I like that. Okay, and I got the shade Vanilla, I believe. Yeah, I got the shade Vanilla, and just to give you a little bit of info about this, it comes with 0.43 fluid ounces or 13 milliliters. The box says, with just a few drops, our Total Control Drop Foundation delivers sheer to full coverage and a velvety matte finish. Simply adjust the number of drops you use until the desired level of coverage is achieved. More drops equals more coverage. Pretty simple. I think it's pretty self-explanatory, so that's pretty much exactly what I expected of that. So let's try this out. I did just kind of guess my own shade. There were people there to help me at the NYX store, but I think by this point I have a pretty good idea of what shade I am. Of course, it's always different when you're buying from a new range of foundations. Even if you've bought from that brand before, the formulas are always a little bit different. So we'll see. However, the lady did tell me at the NYX store not to use this with a beauty blender because she said that the beauty blender just like soaks up the product. So I'm actually going to use a little BH Cosmetics. This is just like a tiny little dense fluffy brush. I usually, whenever applying foundation, I usually use the Real Techniques buffing brush, but mine is falling apart like really badly, so not gonna do that. Okay, so I have like a little like black tray because I did play with this foundation a little bit at the store, and I noticed that it was very liquidy. So I'm not gonna put it on the back of my hand because I feel like it's just gonna run all over and make a big mess. So I'm actually just gonna put it in a little black tray here. Okay. Oh, wait, before I open it, the lady did say to shake it really well before you use it, so I'm gonna do that first. It sounds really liquidy, which makes sense because whenever I played with it in the store, it was very liquidy. So I said I was going to start with 3 drops, so let's start with that. 1, 2, 3. That is such a little tiny bit of foundation. I'm a little skeptical about this. Of course, it did say 3+, so like 3 or more, so we'll see actually how much we need, but we're going to start with 3 because that seems to be the recommended amount. I'm just going to take that on my brush. Well, I'm pretty much almost done using up the 3 drops that I had on my face already, and I haven't even covered half of my face. It's not even like a medium coverage. I would consider this like a light or sheer coverage, so you definitely need a lot more than 3 drops. However, I am noticing that usually whenever I use a brush with foundations, it always comes out streaky, and this one isn't coming out streaky like at all. Like, I don't see any brush strokes, which is a huge plus for me because I really actually do like using a brush to apply my foundation. I just never think that it gives the same kind of flawless results, so I never actually use a brush. I'm going in with 3 more drops. Whoa. It's trying to spread everywhere. Wow, I'm really impressed that this has like no brush strokes. I'm kind of wondering if that has to do with the brush or with the foundation. I'm honestly kind of guessing it has to do with the foundation formula, because usually no matter what brush I use to apply a foundation, it always looks streaky. But this is just, it's like it kind of looks, you see the brush strokes at first whenever you very first apply it, but then after you kind of blend it a little bit, the streaks just go away. I do look kind of white and ghostly on camera, I feel like, but I don't look like that in real life at all. Like, it actually matches my neck exactly perfectly. Like, exactly. Which makes me really happy. I'm going to take a couple more drops here to try to cover my forehead. I'm a little bit disappointed that I'm having to use way more than is recommended. They recommend 4 plus drops for full coverage, and I'm definitely using way more than 4. We're up to 8, so I've used twice as much as the recommended amount. So it does look very natural though, like the way that it looks on your skin. I do like the way that it sits. I'm gonna take a couple more drops. Ugh, I hate using this much product. I actually feel like it's sitting on my skin better on this side than it is on this side. So maybe I didn't get all my makeup off on this side or something. I don't know. Because it actually looks really nice on this side. However, it's not really covering, like, I can still see a lot of my redness kind of peeking through. I feel like it looks fine on camera, but in real life, like, I don't know. I think I'm kind of judging it in comparison to the Urban Decay All Nighter foundation, because that's what I've been wearing for like the past few weeks, 2 or 3 I think. I'm about halfway through the tube now, so I think I'm comparing it to that, and it's really hard not to compare it to that because it's what I've been using, and that foundation is so full coverage that just seeing this, this is kind of more just like a normal foundation. I don't know, it definitely is buildable. However, I don't think that you're ever gonna get as much coverage as like the Urban Decay All Nighter foundation, because I just used like 10 drops and it recommends 4 drops for full coverage, and so I don't know. That's just way too much to me, because I can get more coverage than this with 1 pump of the Urban Decay All Nighter foundation. But I don't really like that. I'm not honestly a big fan of that foundation either. I'll talk about that foundation in another video. I don't want to get into it now, but maybe I'll like this foundation more once I put some concealer on. So let's just go ahead and move into using this NYX HD Studio Photogenic Concealer. And I got the shade Alabaster, I believe. Yeah, I got the shade Alabaster, so let me just try to open it with these freaking nails. One thing that I did notice whenever I was purchasing these foundations, I think it's because the Total Control drops have a much wider range of foundation shades than the HD one, the HD concealer does. But one thing I did notice that was a little bit odd to me, and I see makeup brands kind of do this all the time, which is weird to me, is that this was like shade number 6, and you see how light it is, and then this one was shade number 1, and I think that this one is still a little bit lighter than what I have on, but it's not like substantially lighter. I mean, we'll see in a minute, but even if you look at both of them next to each other, like, they're almost the same. So I don't know. And I was looking at like the next shade over, and like the next shade darker than this one, and it was way too pink, and it looked substantially darker than this one, which I knew wouldn't work for me. So I just got this one. Hopefully it's not like white. I don't think it is. I'm sure it'll be fine, but here we go. I'm just gonna apply that anywhere that I feel like I need additional coverage, like under my eyes. And I'm actually gonna take that down onto my cheeks a little bit, just because that foundation isn't giving me the coverage that I like. It's not covering all that redness. I actually apply my concealer lower, and I actually learned this from Desi Perkins. I apply it lower so that I don't get an excessive amount of product right in the creases of my eyes here. I'll only get just a little bit, like whatever is left over after blending it in, which is all you really need that close to your eyes, to be quite honest, especially if you're putting on eyeshadow and stuff. Okay, and then I'm going to take it down the center of my nose. Oh, kind of down the center of my nose. And around here where I get some redness. And on my chin, and why not on my cupid's bow. I'm just going to blend everything in with the sponge. This concealer does look very, very nice and natural. However, I kind of feel like this sponge really did eat up some of the product. So I'm going to try to apply a little bit more and blend it in with my foundation brush instead. Just in the places where I feel like I'm still a little bit red. Oh, I am noticing that this concealer is kind of drying down, and this foundation actually is drying down really nicely. Like I don't feel like I have to set it, which is something that I really, really appreciate in foundations. Not having to freaking pack my face with powder, especially because I have skin that's on the drier side. I really prefer not to put any powder on my face if I don't have to, so this is really nice. I'm gonna take this brush here. Oh yeah, this is a lot better. Yeah, that definitely kept some of the coverage. That definitely didn't feel like it kind of ate up the concealer. Okay, so I feel like it looks really nice on this side of my face. On this side, it looks a little bit cakey around here, but I think that's just because maybe I didn't get all the product off of my face with my makeup wipe whenever I was taking off my foundation. I think that I would set this foundation maybe a little bit in like my T-zone area. Actually, the places where I put the concealer, I'm just kind of touching them. Those places I don't feel like I need powder. The only places I feel like I do is really where I feel like more foundation is sitting, like kind of where I applied more foundation to try to cover up that redness. Those are the only places that I feel like are like a little bit tacky and like I want to kind of set down with powder. It's not my favorite foundation in the world. It's alright. I'm liking this concealer more than I'm liking the foundation itself. Okay, so final thoughts for the NYX Total Control Coverage and the NYX HD Studio Photogenic Concealer. I'm gonna have to keep playing with this, see how I like it throughout the week, so I'll try to keep you updated on social media. I really like this concealer so far. Can't wait to use this more. And I'm gonna keep trying to work with this, see if there's like a certain way that makes it work. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And if you want me to do more videos like this, or if there are any specific products that you want to see, feel free to leave them down in the comments below or message me and I'll see what I can do. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!